What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome back to another edition of Matchday Reloaded. Live here once again at Panenka Studios. We're back. Oh my goodness me. This is a big show. This is a big show. This is a jam-packed show this morning. There is a lot to get into because it's Liverpool 0, Manchester United 0. Matchday Reloaded. We're going to be reflecting, looking back and discussing yesterday's events and happenings at Anfield. But maybe more importantly today, the actual going-ons and happenings after the game, the reactions, because social media yesterday was in a frenzy for a variety of reasons, for celebrations, for quotes, for comments, for reactions. There is so much to get into, and we have, just about an hour to get into all of it. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know where you're watching from in the chat too. Avi straight away says, Owing alone, scandalous from Flex and KG. Is it the first time you've watched Matchday Reloaded? After every single match day, it's Matchday Reloaded, and it's a Monday, so you don't even have to wait that long for Flex and KG, because the Flex and KG show is live 3 p.m. as always on a Monday. But thoughts on yesterday after sleeping on it. You know what it's like with Matchday Reloaded. Sometimes, it's good to the game to play out, and then you sort of go to bed, you go, I'm going to sleep on it. What are my thoughts? Wake up, have your cup of coffee in the morning as well, and say to yourself, right, how do I feel about the game yesterday? Not really much has changed that much, to be honest with you, when it comes to sort of my feelings yesterday. A really poor game of football. I thought Manchester United didn't play great, and if anything, almost our sort of lack of quality maybe pulled Liverpool down. But I have seen a lot of really sour grapes from Liverpool, which is tremendous, by the way. I've seen a lot of sour grapes, and I've seen a lot of discussion of that Man United weren't playing in that game. It was anti-football, and we'll get to that. We will get to that. But I mean, if you were going to say, if you had to pick one team that was going to win it, of course it might be Liverpool. But actually, the best chances of the game went to Manchester United. Rasmus Højlund threw on goal. Alejandro Garnacho threw on goal. So for all of this talk about how Liverpool were this and how Liverpool were that, I thought Liverpool were rubbish yesterday. Absolutely awful. If they play like that when they play Arsenal coming up this week, they will lose, certainly. Now, it's not, I don't think it's anything for United to be like, oh, we played really, really well, so suddenly crisis averted. No, because I still do think if we play like that against, say, West Ham away, I do think we'll be in a bit of trouble, it must be said as well. But nobody thought we were going to get a point. Nobody thought we were going to get that result. I mean, I myself predicted a loss. Everyone predicted a loss. Liverpool fans were going 5, 6, 7, 8-0, and then now it's our fault that they didn't win that game. Some of the logic over the last few hours has been baffling. Absolutely baffling, it must be said. Now, as I mentioned, we've got so much to get into, so I want to stay on time with clips and things of that nature. What I have seen on social media over the last sort of several hours is this clip that's been going around. United View has been going viral. Now, what's been going viral is the celebrations, or the reaction, shall we say, after the game when the full-time whistle was blown. It was 0-0. United get a point at Anfield. This is what people are criticising Manchester United fans for. Take a look at this.
Yeah.
Blow up, man.
And then
Blow
someone
up.
needs to get up.
96 minutes.
I swear to God, this.
He's done it. Look, he's looking at me.
Yeah! Come on! Come on! Clean sheet!
Well done!
Clean sheet!
Every single
Clean
player, you
sheet.
fucking worked hard.
Yes!
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 Well done!
Come on!
We fought a sacrificial lamb.
I said
the
0-0.
doors on the cards.
So did I.
My brother.
So did I.
0-0.
I said it.
Yeah. 0-0.
I said it.
We fought for that shit.
And who would have thought?
Hey.
Who would have thought?
Give this man some credit, fam. We fought for that game. 13 guys out, fam. These every player down to their man, bro.
Worked hard.
That's it. No embarrassment, bro. We fought and we got something out of it at Anfield, fam. I'm fucking taking that. And those
Got that
moments as well.
result. We got that result.
Good result.
I think we even had the clearer looks at that.
Remember we're talking, bro, that's the point.
Now, the funny thing about this is, obviously, it's been used as a stick to beat Manchester United fans with, mocking us by saying, oh, look at how bad Manchester United are, look at how rubbish Manchester United are, I can't believe Manchester United fans are celebrating that, this, that and the other. I mean, look, it's up to different people's thresholds. I mean, I don't know if I'd be like jumping out, fist bumping in the air or anything like that. But the height of hypocrisy from Liverpool fans, just cast your mind back, yeah? I remember when Manchester United won the treble in 1999. Manchester United were playing away at Liverpool, at Anfield. We were 2-1 up. Then a former Manchester United player in Paul Ince scored a late equaliser. You would have thought that day that Liverpool had won the treble. You would have thought that day that Liverpool had won the league. In addition to that, one of Jurgen Klopp's first games at Anfield, they drew against, was it West Brom? I think it was 2-2. They start giving this to the crowd. Hey, hey, hey. So don't start telling us about, why are you celebrating? Why are you celebrating? Because I don't get the logic. It's almost as if nobody thought we were going to get anything from that game. It's almost as if every single person to a man had said that we were going to lose 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 8-0. AGT was on United View saying, I want 6, and if we get 5, I'm looking for 8. And they were being serious. That wasn't being facetious. This is the thing. People can say, they were only joking. No, they weren't. Nobody was joking. People legitimately were thinking it was going to be 5-0 because we're not very good. We've been terrible. Away from home in particular, we haven't beaten anyone in the top half in 18 months. So everyone's saying 8-0, and then we get what nobody expected us to get, and we're going, well, I tell you what, fair play, and you celebrate that. You're not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to do it. Like, you're not allowed to be happy about that. And then people will go, look at where Manchester United have fallen to. Standards in the mud. Yeah. Yeah, standards are in the mud. How is that new news? How is Manchester United being rubbish new news? We've been rubbish all season. We've been rubbish for a decade. And I think it's funny, like that was the tipping point for some opposition fans. They went, I tell you what, look how far standards have fallen. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. Of course standards have fallen. I'm not saying that I'm happy with that. I'm just saying that let's live in reality. Let's actually live in the reality of the situation, because the standard always moves up and down. The goalposts always move when it comes to Manchester United, because then they start getting into, well, look how much that team is worth. Look how much this, that and the other. Yeah, it's shocking. Manchester United's recruitment is shocking. The players on that pitch aren't even worth half the value that they're bought for. Glazonomics, we know this. Like, when suddenly that's now a real thing. So if you go to a place that everyone expects you to lose, and really the embarrassment's on Liverpool, make no mistake, they're trying to sort of shift and pick up and throw that embarrassment back on Manchester United fans. How embarrassing, you were celebrating a draw. Now, how embarrassing for you? You couldn't do what literally everyone else in the top half has done, and that's beat Manchester United at home under Erik ten Hag, okay? So don't try and put the embarrassment on us. You couldn't get the job done. That's not our fault. So I don't get that at all. And I think it's hilarious. I think it's absolutely hilarious. And it must be a sign that Manchester United are doing something right. Because in our worst moments, with injuries, terrible season, we've just gone out of Europe, we're there for the pick, we're there for the kill, and still Liverpool couldn't get the job done. And that's our fault. That's Manchester United's fault. And when it comes to all of this kind of stuff, whether you win, whether you lose, whether you draw, don't let other people tell you what you can and can't celebrate. Don't let other people gatekeep your emotions and be like, you'd celebrate that. Manchester United, yes, they weren't good. We still weren't good, and we managed to get a point. Take it, run away. The ultimate thing in football is the shithouse. The shithouse win or the shithouse draw, move on. And I'm very happy that Liverpool fans are upset and bitter and angry about that, because they should be. They absolutely should be. As I mentioned, if we play like that, honestly, against West Ham, which is the next game, London Stadium next weekend, I think we'll probably lose. West Ham would be far more, ruthless than Liverpool were yesterday. I've seen people talking about the shots, saying Liverpool had, we'll see it in a second, there you go, 34 shots on target. 34 shots in total, rather, 8 on target. But how many critical saves did Andre Onana make yesterday? One from a header, Van Dijk straight at him. One in the second half that he parried away. But any of them, you would say, if they go in, you're looking massively at Andre Onana going, I don't know about that. So for all of their huffing and puffing, for all of their bravado, and for all of the people talking about stats, this is where I say stats can support your argument, not make it for you. You can't build an argument based off stats. You know, they can support your argument. I've been saying for weeks when I've been talking about Manchester United, statistics can be manipulated as well. Liverpool did nothing in that game. Really, were Manchester United really threatened by any point? They might have felt like in the first few minutes, first 10, 15 minutes, I thought, oh my God, it's going to be a long 90. But was Andre Onana having to make, world-class saves? Were we having to make last-minute blocks a couple of times? But actually, to be honest with you, Liverpool didn't really offer all that much. They were taking stupid shots from the edge of the box, particularly in the second half. Every single time it looked like they were going to be in a good position, they were taking stupid shots. So I think it's a lot of misplaced anger and a lot of misplaced embarrassment, to be honest with you. Us going away to Anfield. Anfield, by the way, they're top of the league. they're talking about being in a title race and all that kind of stuff. So and suddenly we're the ones that should be embarrassed for getting something from the game. No. Okay? The ones that should be embarrassed are Liverpool. That's not a good Man United side. That's a Man United side that was captained by Scott McTominay. That had a midfield of McTominay, Amrabat and Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo's 18. That was like his third or fourth Premier League start. The other two players can't pass the ball. One of them can't run. The front three has got how many Premier League goals this season? Is it 1 or 2? And you couldn't beat us. I'm not feeling all that embarrassed here. I feel like it should be the Liverpool people that are all that embarrassed, certainly. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into the arrogance because Virgil van Dijk was talking after the game. Roy Keane slammed him. And I think he was absolutely right to. But first, we're going to have something a little bit different on Matchday Reloaded today. Usually we get the clips and the reactions from the fan views inside UVHQ or outside Old Trafford. But this time we're going to get something a bit different. We're going to get something from the COP TV. We're going to get something a little bit different from an op because Flex did an appearance on the COP TV after the game yesterday. He spoke to AGT, who again was predicting 5, 6, 7 or 8, like he's in steps. Right? And there was Doyle on there. And once again, they brought up the anti-football argument. This got a bit heated. This is longer than the clips usually would be, but I've got to play this in its full form. Take a look at this and let me know your thoughts.
To hold it, Flex, because I'm a big man like you. I take my licks. Yeah. I don't go hiding. I don't run. I said it will be a convincing win, as did you. Yeah. And a lot of people, even United fans, were saying he's not wrong. He's got every right to be confident. And I still don't maybe regret what I said in terms of us winning the game beforehand.
Your own fans on this channel were saying AGT don't jinx it though.
They were.
You jinxed it.
Listen, I didn't jinx it. I think we should have scored some bloody football goals. That's what jinxed us today. But Flex, talk to me. I mean, from your point of view, how did that game go?
I think, listen, I thought we'd lose as well. So I'm shocked that we're in this position. Most people are shocked that this happened because Liverpool, when's the last time you haven't scored a goal at Anfield?
I'm trying to think.
I'll put that back to you though. You're the stats man. When's the last time you scored at Anfield? A very long time. Yeah? A very long time. When's the last time you didn't win the game at Anfield? Can you remember that? It's the last 49 games and you haven't lost as well. You know what I'm saying? Won every game at Anfield this season. Don't matter whether it's from a losing position, 2 goals down with like 8 minutes to go. I've been told, and I can see myself, that this Liverpool team always gets it done, which is why I shook. So what we did was, yes, we were negative. Yes, we had to change something. Why did we have to change something? Because we're not a very good team. We can't go toe-to-toe with Liverpool. Because if we did, we would have got slapped the 6, 7, 8, 9-0, which I thought would have happened. We would have capitulated. So what did we do? We said, well, let's work out what we're not good at versus what we might be able to be good at. With a shit midfield of 18-year-old Kobbie Mainoo, who I've got high aspirations for. Amrabat, who's stiff and can't run and can't move. McTominay can't string a pass together, and he was our captain today. And we've got Johnny Evans and Raphael Varane out the cold, and Doyle and Shaw. All of these players who, by the way, cannot get into a combined 11 with Liverpool nowhere near it. And a front three of Anthony, who just does pirouettes and kept giving it away, which he actually kept giving it away. Hoyland, who's going to get eaten up like year 7 versus 11s with Konate and Van Dijk, which I predicted. And Garnacho, who, he couldn't really do much. So for me, I saw a team in my team that had a specific tactic which we had to change in order to try and get anything out of this game. And we frustrated Liverpool. And I think that's what hurts Liverpool fans in this, is the fact that I saw them running out of ideas. I saw Liverpool for the first time in a little while sort of be like, I don't really know what to do. And then when it's the Harvey Elliott effect, which usually happens because he's really good at that. When it's the Curtis Jones, can give you a little bit more. When it's Cody Gakpo, Luis Diaz, all I saw was Luis Diaz cutting in, block. I saw Cody Gakpo coming and charging
13
in,
block shots.
That's what I'm saying. And you had like 30 something shots. So what I'm saying is although it's shameless and Man United, how the Man United fought, everyone knows Man United is shit. We don't need to do that whole, but you used to be this under Fergie. Look at you now. We know this. That's why you thought he was going to win 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 nil. Because Man United is shit. So Man United, what I'm saying, deserve actually a bit of credit to make Liverpool run out of ideas and defend properly. And we had a couple of looks as well. Second half, it became a little bit open. And I didn't expect that.
Yeah, Højlund had a chance. I think Garnacho had one nicked off him by Trent.
Yeah, McTominay shot when he shouldn't have shot. Yeah.
I think Doyle's frustrations come from a place of self-frustration, if that even makes sense, because
I like honest football, lad. That's not an honest football game. It's exactly what he's just said. Everything he said is spot on. They are shit and they are not a good football team, so they had to come and play shit football to get a result against us.
Effective football.
No, it's not effective football, because if you play like that for the rest of the season, you won't get anywhere with it.
But here's the thing. No. But we won't. We haven't scored a goal in Anfield since 2018. This is the thing that makes it smart, right? You don't get to just keep rolling out the same thing and then say that, like, we want to see something different. We had to change something, otherwise we're going to get smoked.
Yeah, absolutely.
We won't play like that. We won't play that every game. That was pathetic.
You just can't play like that every game.
But it was very important for us to not lose that game, and it was very important for you to win it, to go top of the league. Who's the happier of the two teams?
Use, without a doubt, use.
And I actually don't think it's anti-football. I think it's smart. If it's the same way how we say Ange fucking keep doing the same thing, and we've all sat on DR Sports say he keeps doing the same thing, you've got to change a little bit. We changed a little bit and got the right result.
I understand.
It just hurts you.
I understand. It's dynamics and definitely hurts me because it's crap tactic. It's the worst tactic you can go for because it means we have no resources. We have nothing, even though we've spent over like £200 million and £80 million on this, like goalkeeping and all this madness. But, we have no resources and we're going to play like Burnley and Luton because that's the only thing we can do to get a result. And that is painful. It's painful that our mighty rivals cannot lay a punch on us anymore, so they'd rather just hit us and we won't get knocked out. Just hit us and we won't get knocked out, lad. That's what you did for 90 minutes.
Viewers of the Cop TV, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. We're rivals in name with all the titles and all that, but in terms of the aspirations for the seasons, we're not near you.
No,
you know what I mean? You're competing with Arsenal, you're competing with City, and you just fucked it up. Not us, that's on you.
You haven't fucked it up.
No, no. I didn't say you can't win the league from this. I'm talking about tonight. I'm talking about tonight.
Okay.
I'm saying the reason why you're angry is because you fucked up tonight. You're supposed to beat this shit Man United team by bare goals, and you're vexed because you didn't. It's nothing to do with my team and we stuck the joint out. That's the real truth of why you're angry. Don't at us. At Mo Salah, at flipping Sabosla who got hooked, at flipping Nunes who's cutting in. I tell you what as well, fucking diving, asking for the physical contact, couldn't take it. What? At him, don't at me.
Garnacho did the same thing, lad.
What did he do?
He's done about 20 times.
What did he do? Who else dived as well? Who else tried to dive for a penalty as well? Pathetic. Someone else tried to dive because Amrabat had hold of someone's short a little bit and he threw himself to the floor.
It is frustrating to lose. It feels like a loss to
not me.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
It feels like a win for you and a loss
what did I tell you would happen if we drew as well, by the way? Because this shouldn't be a shock to you. I said if we draw, what did I say I'll do? This.
Yeah,
I said I'll be exactly.
You doing it? Yeah. Come on, bro. What do you mean? What more do you want? So I bend over.
No, because I'm not having like. Actually, this is the door because he's the one who's angry.
What are you not having?
I'm not having the fact that you're just leaning on the thing of that's not football. You're at the top of the league, bro.
We need to be having a go.
People come to the thing,
That's our fault for not winning.
I haven't heard you once say anything about your team. No, but you have not once said nothing about your players.
You did on the fan
well, not to me. Maybe because you're just angry.
I'm not going to admit it to you, like I'm a Man United fan. Do you want me to do in front of all these fans? Go, yeah, flex, lad. Yeah, do you know what, bro? You're right, lad. I'm frustrated because we didn't beat this crap Man United team. That's it.
That's what it is.
The reason why I'm frustrated is because the crap. I couldn't watch Man United.
Ten-Hog masterclass, mate.
That's our fault, Doyle. That's our fault.
Masterclass. Shut up, shut. Be difficult to beat, and that'll give us a platform to rise up the league.
I don't know about that. I don't even think you believe that. I don't even think.
That was not a masterclass.
The red card.
That was a survival tactic.
Michael Oliver. He is disgusting.
That wasn't a red card.
Listen, and Darwin Núñez done exactly the same thing. He got a booking for dissent, and as soon as he got the yellow card, he went, hey. Oh, what, you just too shook to do it at Anfield? Because Klopp's going to run up on you and say bad stuff because you're too shook. Nah, bro. That better get rescinded, and he better be in the Championship. He better be in the Championship for next game.
Can we just say, can we handle this, That was not a Ten Hag masterclass. That was a Ten Hag survival kit, mate. That's what that was. Go away with your survival kits. Like, go and get your rubber dinghy and your raft and that so you can survive the league because you're just shit now.
Hey, what did you? What? He said 8. He said 8.
You don't want me to earn money, bro.
Fucking hell! Oh, I'm rattled.
Doyle, stop!
I broke him.
Relax.
I didn't watch
that,
Spot
man.
TV. Yeah, just quickly. Be honest. Yeah, he's over there now. He's ran off. Yeah. Was he saying mad numbers as well? What did he say? Like 5. What did he say?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
Okay.
He wasn't.
Hey, when they asked me for my prediction, I was genuinely the one saying, lad, you've got 3 hungry midfielders there that aren't riddled with quality, but they're going to run into the ground and make this hard. And I also said, Liverpool, anyone that's watched Liverpool this season, no, we are not convincing enough yet. We have not won one single game convincingly, except for the Aston Villa one, which no one expected. We've made every game fucking difficult for ourselves, and I knew today was going to be that. And we've been found out in the sense of we couldn't get over the line, we couldn't get that last minute winner because we didn't. I don't know why, lads, because we're not playing like we used to when we had that team 3-4 years ago that gets over the line every time and manages games well. We're not that team anymore, but we are a team that can score goals, and we didn't today, and it was frustrating the life out of me.
Listen, to sum
What
it
are
all
you
up,
saying, though? I want to know what you're saying.
He's just been
just
getting
like
his
him,
nipples
just-
twisted by everybody, lad, the whole
Like,
time.
my Twitter's going mad right now.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
bro, you've got.
Big
Listen.
up. No, it's thanks to me. I was talking.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
Flex, I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
here.
Injects it right there, in there. Thank you very much. I mean, what a load of nonsense. What a load of nonsense. Anti-football. This is one of my biggest bugbears about football. This is gatekeeping 101 when it comes to football, tactics, and the modern game. You didn't play it in the right way. What is the right way? There is no right way to play football. I hate when people do this. Jurgen Klopp does it all the time. Pep Guardiola does it all the time. What they're really saying is, why didn't you come to Anfield and lose? Is really what they're saying. Anti-football, what a load of hogwash that is. If you are an inferior team, which is what we are, and you can go, standards in the mud, it's standards in reality is where we are. We are not good at the moment, particularly this season. Just got out of the Champions League. We've been smashed a couple of times this season. We got smashed there last season. As Flex points out, we haven't scored a goal there in, what is it at this point, 5 years. We haven't won there since, I don't even remember when. What is it, 6 years? Something like that, probably even longer. I think it was it Louis van Gaal, right? Wayne Rooney. So we've done nothing at Anfield for the best part of like a decade nearly, yeah? And you want us to go there and just lose. Let's go there, play really open, and we can beat you 6 and 7-0, and we'll be happy with that. If you don't, if you set up the team the best way possible to get something out of the game, that's anti-football. It's nonsense. And it's not even a Man United thing. People have done the same with Diego Simeone and other defensive, pragmatic coaches. Oh, they parked the bus. They did this, they did that. It's not great to watch. No, it's not great to watch. And to Doyle's point when he goes, if you do that all season, you're not going to get anywhere. Of course you're not. But you're not going to do that in every game, because if Manchester United do that at home to Luton or anything like that, it's ridiculous. But in a game in which you're the inferior team and you're likely to lose if you play open, expansive, attacking football, yeah, you play defensively. The name of the game in football is to win, or certainly not to lose. And you set up your team the best way possible to achieve that. How is that like this mind-blowing rationale? I never understand that argument. Again, it's upon the attacking team to break down that defensive team. Don't project your disappointment onto us. Look internally, look to yourself. If it was the other way round, if it was at Old Trafford and Liverpool came and they were pragmatic and they were defensive and United couldn't break them down, I don't think Manchester United fans would be going, Liverpool parked the bus. They'd be looking at our attacking players going, why didn't you do enough? Why didn't you break them down? They'd be looking to the coach and going, why didn't you make those changes? Why didn't you bring this player on? Why didn't you set up this way? Why didn't you take more risks? So again, it's all of this projection and deflection. It's all Manchester United's fault. Why didn't United come and just lay down, right? Why didn't United come down to Anfield and just lay down for us to walk all over us? Anti-football. What a load of nonsense. What a load of nonsense, all that kind of stuff. And it was really something that was echoed by their captain after the game as well. Virgil van Dijk Goes to Sky Sports News after the game. He says, quote, "If you see how we played the game, we had most of the ball and created some opportunities. There was only one team trying to win the game. We want to win every game, and of course, that is why it's frustrating. Sometimes we shot too easy, and we could have passed on the overlap. The right decision was sometimes lacking. We carry on, of course, but it is frustrating because we were the superior in all aspects. In the end, they are buzzing with a point, and we are very disappointed with the point." Now, Roy Keane, rightfully so, after the game, calls Virgil van Dijk out on his bullshit. Because after the game, Roy Keane says, quote, "Virgil van Dijk had arrogance coming out of him, dishing Manchester United like that. He needs a reminder himself. He's playing for a club who have won one title in 30 odd years. Fact." He's saying only one team wanted to win and that United are buzzing with a point. United are in a difficult place, like Liverpool have been in a difficult place for many a year. So maybe that bit of arrogance backfired on him today, and he's absolutely spot on. And it's not just Virgil van Dijk whose arrogance backfired on him, it's all the Liverpool fans. We're going to win 5, 6, 7, 8 nil. Like I said earlier on, how can you be like, oh, we're going to win by double figures, legitimately, not even jokingly. We're going to win by double figures, and then they don't even score one goal, and that's Manchester United's fault. I can't believe you're celebrating a point. Oh, I can't believe you played defensively. Excuse me, what game were we watching there? Because for all of the huff and all of the puff and all of the shots and all of the XG, to be honest with you, the best chances of the game went to the visiting defensive side as well. And Roy Keane's right. To come out after the game, I mean, what? Okay, you're this big, dominating, brilliant side. What have you Roy Keane says you won one title in 30 years. And Roy Keane's right. And this is what is also the problem with modern football, is that for some people, their frame of reference, and I don't blame them for this, but their frame of reference is maybe the last 5 years or the last 10 years of football. But Roy Keane's right. I lived through it too. The same reason that all of the pundits and all of the ex-players are salty about Manchester United, because they had to watch them win for the best part of 2 decades and ruin their childhood. They need to have that same long memory when they're looking at themselves as well. Because I remember plenty of time throughout my life, where Liverpool would be very happy coming to Old Trafford with a point, or even at Anfield be very happy with a point, and they'd be celebrating that. I mentioned 99 when Paul Ince scores. I can think of plenty of time under Gerard Houllier or under Rafa Benitez, a defensive coach, getting a point and they would be happy with. But in 2023, in December, oh, how dare they come to Anfield and not lose the game. What a load of bullshit. That is indeed what it is. And all of those people can try and slam Manchester United. Lord knows they have for the last however many weeks and months. Guess what? Nobody thought we were going to get a point, and I'll take it. Is Manchester United's problems resolved? Absolutely not. Are we still in the mud? Absolutely. Are we going to go to West Ham and win? You'd still say it's 50-50 at best. But enough of this anti-football stuff, and that's bigger than Manchester United. Nowadays, we've got so fixated on there's one way to play football. If you don't play that way, that's it. You're not even playing football anymore. The name of the game in football is to win, or at the very least not lose. And that's what Manchester United did yesterday. Absolute nonsense. Let's move on to another clip. Let's see what Flex had to say after the game.
I don't know how. I didn't expect it. I thought we'd get cooked. It was going to be lambs to the slaughter. I'm in shock. And we've managed to draw the game. And I'm still trying to think how we did it. And do I feel bad? I'm thinking, like, should I have shown more faith that we could get something out of it? No, I'm not going to do that, because revisionism is easy to do. I think with everything going into this game and how we were playing versus how Liverpool were playing, I think we were entitled to feel down in the dumps about what was going to happen tonight. But where do we start as to why it didn't? There were bits of the performance that I didn't like, and I'll get into what I didn't like and the things that weren't quite right. But at the end of the day, we were resolute. We frustrated Liverpool. Liverpool weren't as good as they needed to be as well. They didn't create the types of chances that they needed to. And that was down to us, as well as them not being at it. And I think it's a mixture of and culmination of all them things. Second half, we started to get a couple more looks at the goal. In transition, we managed to, Rasmus Højlund had a chance. Anthony was in good positions. Garnacho was in a couple good positions, but we failed to capitalise. So I was really disappointed in that. But I just want to talk about the positives. Raphael Varane, the ghost, the wraith, the phantom. He was excellent tonight. Brought in out the cold against Bayern Munich and played well. Then you're asking him to go straight away again 3 days later or 4 days later, whatever it was, against a tough Liverpool team where everyone thinks we're going to get moved to, including most of our own fans. And you know what? It wasn't that he done anything spectacular. He just took care of his business. Reading the game, anticipation of where to be, making sure he got his head on the end of everything, getting blocks in. And that just contributed to Liverpool getting more and more frustrated. And Johnny Evans, right next to him as well, had a similar theme to his game. Again, it wasn't a masterclass from them two. And, you know, they were absolutely flawless. But in terms of doing their job and making sure that there were no real easy looks at the goal, they defended really well. I think the fullbacks as well. Yes, we didn't get forward and create chances, and it definitely wasn't that type of game. But again, being firm when you needed to be firm and fight when you need to fight. We did that. And to be honest, this was a game whereby if Man United had lost it in the way that we thought we would, we probably wouldn't know where to turn, even though we knew what was incoming. Let's just be real. Like, if we'd have got slapped 5-0, like maybe I thought we would have, like, it wouldn't have made anything any easier. And I'm not saying, like, see, we're actually way better than we think we are. But in terms of tonight, we do deserve credit. And that is what I am going to be a bit positive about that, because this is a game that everyone expected Man United to lose. This is a game that if we did lose it, Ten Hag's staring down the barrel again and all the heat is scrutinised. And not a lot of people are talking about actually how poor Liverpool was. For our dominant Szoboszlai, hooked, didn't do nothing. Cody Gakpo off the bench, forcing shots, getting blocked. Trent into midfield, one shot that went just wide. Other than that, nothing. Spamming crosses, didn't do shit. Luis Diaz, cutting in, getting shots, blocked, didn't do nothing. Salah, okay, he had a little shot on target, but other than that, we didn't give him any gilt-edged opportunities bearing down on our goal. Harvey Elliott's usually a game changer, didn't do nothing when he come on. Curtis Jones didn't do nothing. So Liverpool fans will be able to say, like, Man United, oh, look at them, they're shit. They come here camped out like the old Stoke, whatever. But at the end of the day, they were supposed to beat us today. And we frustrated them and made them not be able to do it. It's as simple as that. And AGT, listen, I know I'm not covered in glory because I predicted my team was going to lose 5-0. I get that. But as the saying goes, on this very channel, in this very room, he sat here with his smug face saying, anything less than 3, I ain't accepting. And once it gets to 5, I want 8. Excuse me. And yeah, I didn't give it like this at the time because I was shook, but I'm not shook now because we drew, yeah? And he's in the mud. And I even told him, as you see in the video, I said, and you know what, lastly, I said, boy, anyhow we get a draw, I'm going to celebrate that like a win, right? Weren't like this is out the blue. I told man what would happen if we'd win. I told man what would happen if we'd lose. And I told man what would happen if we drew, yeah? And we've drawn a game, so I'm coming with that energy, and he's getting cooked. You see on DR tomorrow morning, I don't care how shameless it is. We'll probably go lose against West Ham next game knowing us. I don't care. It's about living the moments. I've had to take bare licks from that guy, and he was coming on some 8-0 thing. He was coming on some 5, 6, 7, 8s and that. We want 10. All of that. So
Big up Flex inside UVHQ yesterday. Let's get some quotes after the game. Scott McTominay, we're going to get into a bit later on, said, I said in other interviews we are behind the manager. First and foremost, we are here to perform for the football club. He is a great manager, and this result is a building block. He also said, it's always a hot start when you come here. We couldn't forget about last year. I'm proud to have led the lads out today, but unfortunately only for a draw. I don't care what anyone else thinks about me. I just want to do well for the football club. That is final. He said, we're disappointed we couldn't make more of a game and create more opportunities. The boys will be pleased not to lose, but definitely not happy that we didn't win. Now, Erik ten Hag said after the game, quote, he, referring to Kobbie Mainoo, did very good. I'm sure he'll adjust quickly to the high intensity of the Premier League because then he'll be even better. He'll be even more calm, and his scanning, his capabilities on the ball will bring the team so much joy. What is quite an almost iconic comment, to be honest, an iconic quote after the game as well, is Andre Onana, who was asked about Anfield's atmosphere, and he said, quote, I felt nothing. And to be honest, the atmosphere was really, really poor yesterday at Anfield, certainly. Almost like they were in disbelief with really what they were watching. Onana said after the game, quote, we're one of the biggest clubs in the world, so we want to win against all opponents. Today we showed character, we fought for each other, but that's not all, it's not enough. We must win regardless of the opponent. It's good to have a clean sheet, but the most important thing is to win the match. When you're a part of this huge club, you have to win. When he's talking about a pass he made for Anthony, and again, this was kind of sums up Anthony's day yesterday. He said, quote, "That's good, but I want to talk about Anthony's race. It makes things easier for me when they run. Anthony must be congratulated for doing the race." He said also, quote, "I like to take everything upon myself to protect my players. I want them to be free to be focused. I'm used to the criticism, so it doesn't bother me." Now, Erik ten Hag was asked after the game as well whether the performance showed that there wasn't, quote, unrest within the Manchester United dressing room, and Ten Hag simply said, "I told you." Now, he also said, quote, "It was a team very disciplined. We should have taken more ball regains to hurt the opponent more. But in the end, you have to conclude that we had the best chances from open play with Højlund and Garnacho." Now, Erik ten Hag was also asked about Diogo Dalot's red card, and he said, quote, "I leave the judgment to you." He was also asked about Kobbie Mainoo once again, saying, quote, "When he gets often used to these games, I think we will get more joy from it. With his scanning and speed of action, he's the player who can really hurt opponents." I want to get to KG's reaction, and then we'll talk about the red card, because the red card for me was such, how often have I come on these shows, on Matchday Reloaded shows, and spoken about refereeing decisions and inconsistency and just shambolic officiating in the Premier League, and yesterday certainly was no different. We'll get to that shortly. We do have a super chat here from Ray Carl Brown. Apologies for the bit of a delay getting to it. As I mentioned, jam-packed show this morning, saying, quote, I don't have to quote it. It was masterclass. Liverpool fans fuming. I appreciate the contribution. Remember, you can get your super chats in as well. We'll get comments up on the screen too. We've got nearly 1,000 people watching and 158 likes. If you haven't already clicked the like button, I mentioned this yesterday on the full-time view. It's been kind of weird sort of mentioning likes in recent weeks because there's not really been a lot to like. And I suppose in the performance yesterday still, there wasn't a ton to like. But certainly, if there's one thing that you can click the like button for today, it's Liverpool fans crying, and it's Liverpool fans trying to project that it's anyone's fault but theirs that they didn't win the game yesterday, right? If that's not worth a like, I don't know what is, yeah? I don't know what is, certainly. Now, we're going to talk about referees, and I know KG wants to talk about the referees as well. Here are his thoughts after the game.
To say, I've got to get into tie zone. Referee Michael Oliver, you're an absolute disgrace. You're a cheat, and you should be relegated. You should be sacked. Because you know what? Like, when Man United are fighting for their lives in that game, it was a difficult match. You already know, Man United have been cooked. I've been backing the manager. Today, I even done the match view with no hat on, bro. Look at the shine, bro. Looks like, I'm blessed. There you go. Anyway, backing the manager, yeah? We're all fighting. We're all giving it, like, for 90 minutes. And then he goes and does that. I saw in the first half, Darwin Núñez, Darwin Noodles, Darwin trash, yeah? Darwin dead, yeah? What does he do? He barges into Johnny Evans. After barging into Johnny Evans, the whistle's already been blown. Guess what he does? Kicks it. Massive, huge kick, tries to take a shot at goal. Not only that, the referee comes over, gives him a yellow card. Do you know what Darwin Núñez does next? He claps him. Well done, referee. He lets the referee know that I'm disgusted with the decision you made. What does the referee do? Absolutely nothing. And that happens in the first half. Doyle remonstrates after a ball goes out that Salah touched. That's the truth. He remonstrates. What happens? He gets mad. It's Anfield away. It's a harsh. The environment is crazy. The atmosphere is crazy. Your team's been going for it. He's right to go for it. Yes, he's right to be upset. Use your mind. Use your brain. Don't let the moment overtake him. But guess what? He wanted to make it all about him. Michael Oliver, you're an absolute disgrace. You're a cheat. Literally, that's it. I had to make sure I get that out there. Now, let's talk about the game, though. Let's talk about what I saw. I was expecting sacrificial Lambs FC. I was expecting to be literally kebab shop, fam. Doner, skewered. I was expecting, I don't know if sheesh, I don't even know the difference, if it was going to be the kofta. I was expecting a madness. I was. All I was waiting for was the pita bread to just finish us, support us in that, because we're getting to Anfield. These guys are well known for doing, putting teams. These guys were probably one of the best in transition. Man United, terribly transitionally. But guess what? Today, our manager made changes for the first time. Our manager said, none of this, let's go toe-to-toe, this, that, and the other. We're not doing that. I'm going to make you guys resolute, hard to beat. I'm going to make pot shots. These guys are going to have to make changes to get at us. Again, Trent. They put him in different positions. They couldn't get down from him. Gravenberch couldn't get down from him. Szoboszlai, all these players, Endo, they couldn't do nothing. I can't really remember big chances from Liverpool today. Why? Man United did their job. Now, Man United nullified. They just had nothing else going forward. And that side of our game, we do need to work on. I felt for Højlund. Højlund, we knew, probably wasn't going to score a goal today. He has one chance, and this is when you want Højlund to be clinical. But Alisson, great goalkeeping, comes out, makes himself big, and they do their job. The ball's away. They've done what they need to do. But I will say this. Proud of Man United today. Honestly, I can go away from that result. It's not a win. It's not a win, but I'm realistic. When we started the match, me and Haley were talking to each other. It's like what's the best way to eat an elephant? I know it sounds like a crazy analogy, but bit by bit, there's no point like, oh my God, it's so big. How am I going to get through this meal? No, bit by bit. So we got to look at the game and say in these increments, we're going to go 10-minute increments. 10 minutes, are we still in the game? Another 10 minutes, are we still in the game? Guess what? We made it to half time. And that's how embarrassing the team is. But this is where we are. This is where we are as a squad. This is where we are as a team. Can we be upset about it? Absolutely not. It's just being realistic. Ten Hag, well done today. I have to say it, Ten Hag, well done today. Again, we went back to Varane. Realised, you know what, we need Varane in the squad. I know you said he couldn't play left side centre-back, but he can play that position.
Big up KG inside UVHQ there yesterday. Yeah, when it comes to the red card thing, I mentioned this on social media. I shouldn't be shocked anymore when it comes to the Premier League. I shouldn't be shocked when it comes to officiating. I've said this a million times, so I'm not going to chew my food twice too much here. The rules and the laws changing, some of them I don't get, some of them I don't understand, some of them I don't agree with, but I can tolerate it as long as there's consistency or relative consistency across the board. I get like every referee's different, and I get interpretation of the rules can be different, and I understand that not every decision is going to be exactly the same. But within the game, within a 90-minute period, when you've got the referee having similar situations and doing, massively different decisions. What Michael Oliver did yesterday in the 94th minute was grandstand. He decided, I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to make a point. I think the game's over, so I'm going to send off a Manchester United player because I'm going to make this big statement about refereeing. And I understand, given the circumstances that have happened in the world recently, I get that. But it was grandstanding because what you have in the game, KG points out, Darwin Núñez in the first half elbows Johnny Evans, right? That's a booking. He gets booked. He kicks the ball away. That's a second booking. He then sarcastically claps the referee and gives him a thumbs up as if to say, oh, really brilliant, great decision. That's another booking, right? So you're talking triple dissent there. He gets a yellow card. Diogo Dalot, in the 94th minute, wins a throw-in. The reason he was particularly angry is because that was a Manchester United throw-in. The ball came off Mo Salah last. The referee not only makes the wrong decision, but Dalot, dissent, I get that, yellow card, then gives him 2 yellow cards, red card. That is ridiculous. And also what that did is it added an extra minute on because they went, wow, the red card happened. We're going to have to add some time on. And I, as a Man United fan, knowing that we've crumbled with less happening to us this season or over the last 18 months, genuinely I thought, Liverpool going to go score here. It's absolute nonsense officiating. I think it's nonsense. I don't think that can be overturned as well because it's 2 yellow cards that have gone together and double dissent. Like I said, it was grandstanding. It was nothing else but Michael Oliver deciding that he was going to make a statement. He was going to show these players that you can't shout, you can't do this dissent, even though it happened throughout the game. If there was a situation where that was the first time that had happened in the game, I'd have said, well, fair enough. But okay, you've got the balls to send off an away player in sort of stoppage time, but when it's Darwin Núñez, a Liverpool player after 20 minutes, no, we can't be doing that. Absolute nonsense. I know they don't overturn 2 yellow cards, but the FA should look into it. And also Michael Oliver should be dropped down to the Championship because genuinely that could have, I know people say, it's the last kick of the game, doesn't really matter. Well, it wasn't. Added time on, that could have affected the game. And honestly, I thought that was absolutely scandalous. And it kind of gets overlooked because of the stuff that's been said after the game and the Virgil van Dijk comments and all this kind of stuff. But honestly, it's horrific officiating, that. Absolutely horrific officiating. And I think it's one of the biggest myths in football that Michael Oliver is one of the Premier League's best. One of the Premier League's best doesn't do that. In a game like Liverpool Man United, it's a derby. And you're going to send a player off for double descent in stoppage time. Are you on crack? I mean, it's just absolutely nonsense. And I can't wait. I can't wait for, as it points out in the chat here, Keegan, Dermot Gallagher to go on Sky Sports News Ref Watch and be like, oh, yes, correct decision. Correct decision. Come on. Stop the whole boys club and all this kind of stuff. Absolute nonsense. Nonsense officiating. Nonsense. It's just hypocritical and no consistency when it comes to refereeing decision. And it's not even surprising, really. I shouldn't be shocked with it. And I'm just glad again that Man United managed to get out of the game with a point because of that. Because it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And Doyle played well yesterday, as did all of the back four. The back four defended very well yesterday. Raphael Varane, KG points out towards the end there, man of the match. And in the same vein that we talk about, Maguire came in and won his place and was playing well. Well, the place is gone. Varane's got it back. Interestingly enough, though, and this is where Erik ten Hag doesn't make himself look good at all, because he said for weeks that Varane can't play left centre-back. He's come in, played left centre-back against two of the biggest teams in Europe, Bayern at home in Liverpool away, and he's done brilliant. So, Varane, now that we've got a better schedule for him physically, because even when we had a game every 3 days, he couldn't keep up with that schedule. Even last year, we had to move him around in terms of the importance of the game. There's no reason now that Raphael Varane shouldn't be playing, apart from being injured, obviously, playing every game. If you're playing it once a week, then Varane should be playing. And if he's playing like that, fantastic. I mean, I think, longer term, I still do think there needs to be a conversation just about centre-backs in general at Manchester United. That's what I've said. Maguire and Varane, you'd still probably be looking for someone younger that can play more often, because the schedule for Man United should be realistically every 3 or 4 days you're playing and winning. So that's a wider and longer conversation. But yesterday he was excellent, as well as Johnny Evans. I think it kind of gets overlooked a little bit too. Johnny Evans came in yesterday and was really, really good. And when you praise like a Johnny Evans, you can't overlook that in reality, he shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be playing. The fact that I think Johnny Evans turns 36 in January, the fact that he's playing at Anfield in 2023 for Manchester United is nuts. It's the definition of Glazonomics. I know you can say, well, injuries played a part, and that is true, but it's nonsense, really. It's nonsense. But I think one thing you can say about Johnny Evans this season, whenever he's come in, I don't know if he's really put a foot wrong. I think at the beginning of the season, I criticised him in pre-season as well. I said his legs are gone. And I'm certainly not saying, let's keep Johnny Evans around long term, but I didn't expect this from him, to be honest with you. I remember he came on against Arsenal at the Emirates and he and Maguire looked all over the place, but yesterday he looked calm, composed. He's better on the ball. Nearly 36-year-old Johnny Evans is better on the ball, technically, than Scott McTominay and Sofian Amrabat in front of him, which is remarkable, certainly. But you would say once Lisandro Martinez is back, hopefully very soon, is back out on the grass, maybe beginning of next year, which isn't that long now, get that partnership going once again between Raphael Varane and Leacher, because it was so important for us last season, and it'll be really important for us again this season. I do want to talk about just the midfield very briefly as well. Kobbie Mainoo, once again, I think 3rd or 4th Premier League start. He's played big away games too. He was brilliant. He's brilliant, and he's nowhere near the finished article as well. I think that it was actually scary at points just how superior technically on the ball he was and is than McTominay and Amrabat, to be honest with you. And that's not necessarily because Kobbie Mainoo is this fantastic, amazing player. I do think his ceiling is really, really high, and he was brilliant again yesterday. But it can't be overstated, I think, just how poor on the ball technically McTominay and Sofian Amrabat are. I appreciate their work rate and endeavour, but my goodness me, watching them try to play 1-2s or trap the ball and play a 5-yard pass is excruciating to watch. The first touch is vertical. It comes off their foot and goes that way. And then they do a pass and it goes either here or here or here. That is, I mean, and I saw Flex getting angry during the match view, and I sympathise with him because people go, "Oh, you're being negative," but and what do you expect from these players? But I think as a basic sort of fundamental of a football player, you expect them to be able to trap it, play at 5 yards, and not look like Bambi on ice. To be honest with you, because that was crazy, and Amrabat in the first half in particular, I thought really struggled. It's just there's something like about his movement. It's why he doesn't run very well. It can look quite slow. I'm of the mindset in this because people are like, oh, would you take? I think it was Amanor yesterday asked me in the full-time view, would you take Fred over Amrabat? And I still do think like you can't. We've got to move on from both. Amrabat's not the answer. I think we're kind of fortunate, to be honest. We've got him on loan. I don't think we should sign him permanently. Because we can do better. We can do better in that position. There are those players that are out there that can win the ball back, have energy, get around the pitch, win duels, and can pass the ball 5 yards. Like that, we act like that player's like a unicorn. Oh, it doesn't exist. Absolutely it exists. Those players exist out there that can pass it 5 yards. So, yeah, the midfield yesterday again. And that's why I say, like, I think Liverpool fans are confused, bless them, because they think that we're celebrating and going crazy about this victory or all that kind of stuff. Like, no, like you were realistically, again, I think if we'd have played a lot of teams away from home yesterday, I think we'd have lost. You know, Liverpool were just really, really bad, to be honest with you. But again, we'll take it. And like, for me, the embarrassment is firmly on Liverpool because how they didn't again threaten us yesterday, I think is crazy. I think really is. Let's get some more reaction. Let's go to Marcel, Mr. Marcel, positive Marcel, with the positivity continue after the game.
Basically, Ten Hag changed the structure and how he usually plays. You know, in his language, he normally talks about turnovers and build-up, and I think he did try to do the build-up today. Even though the turnovers weren't there and how you usually implement them, having, you know, 5-6, committing 5 and 6 players, you know, to the opposition's build-up, today it was more of a thing where, you know, the lines are all deep, you know, the defensive lines right there next to the goalkeeper, the midfield lines right next to them, the forward lines right there. You're seeing Højlund defend. He really it was a Jose Mourinho masterclass, you know. It was really park the bus and create couple opportunities. I do think the passing patterns that we had when we were counter-attacking were a bit Ten Hag-y, like how he sets up things, how he creates space, how he tries to open up the pitch with the wide players. But the first thing was the defend today. Don't get beat heavily. Don't get beat badly. And the players kind of showed the commitment and the fight to produce that for me.
All right, so let's get into the negatives and positives. Yeah. What's some of the negatives about today's performance?
Well, in the context of, is this Ten Hag ball? No, it's not, you know, and that's a negative. In the context of, are we going to attack the opponent? You know, we talk about, you know, what type of Manchester United are we now? We have to understand that we're not that Manchester United of old. Mm-hmm. People have already completed and gone past us in terms of trebles. They've already done that. They've overshadowed that. And at the end of the day, we're not being...
100% charges.
Yeah, I hear that. But, you know, Mourinho's also talked about heritage. You know, Ralph's also talked about open heart surgery. So we're not no clean Champions League finalists.
Wow.
We're so far from that. And when you reevaluate what we are, it's against the top 4 and top 6. You're going to have to be able to humble it and not go gun-ho and attack. And Ten Hag's been doing that a lot of the time. You know, in this process that we're in, it's about performance, not really results. And no matter what style of football Ten Hag tries to implement, today the counter-attacking style, let's see how they perform in that. Can you do diligent defending? Can you put...
But today's result, while I'm with you, today's result was important because we didn't care about... I would say for me, it was about the result today. I didn't want to get beaten 5-0, 6-0, 7-0.
Yeah, I agree with that as well to a degree. And I think that's when I kind of say, you know, Ten Hag, we spoke earlier in the watch along, that it's like Ten Hag's adapted. Normally he goes gun-ho with these situations. Against Liverpool, we were going attack for attacking at 7-0. It was only until half-time we capitulated. That's a mental thing. We've been talking about Manchester United's mental stability away from home for years now. So, you know, these kind of things are just coming to fruition, and he's trying to adapt and show how he can still pull results from these kind of situations. And he's had to change his style of football. There was no turnovers today.
You would say, you know, when you talk about his style of football, a lot of people say we haven't seen Ten Hag's style of football since he's got here. Some people argue that it's been Ole-esque at times. We've heard it from like big pundits, from like Gary Neville's, the likes of like, I don't know if Roy Keane has said anything about our style of football, but Gary Neville was one that's clean said we have to change.
So this season, I agree with you. Last season, it was more Ole style, and it was a 4-2-3-1 shape, similar to like today, and it was strict in that sense, and it was more of a mid block, not a low block like it was today. We fully respected Liverpool and said, you know what, we're going to be difficult to beat, but you know I do, and then we evolved from that. Last season, this season, the start of this season, when he gets in on Nana, when he tries to get in new defenders, which the structure failed him in that regard. But once he tried to get new players in, he found, okay, 1-6-2-8. And we
Big up Marcel inside UVHQ yesterday. I was just sort of thinking as Marcel was talking there about, you know, games that are coming up and all this kind of stuff. And has yesterday's game really changed anything? Probably not too much, because if we go away to West Ham and we lose convincingly, you know, 3-0, 2-0, whatever it may be, the pressure will still be on. The Manchester United are still living, or Erik ten Hag certainly is still living in this kind of purgatory, isn't he? And look, Manchester United for the best part of a year, let's be honest, have been living in purgatory when it comes to the strategic review and the Ineosing and what have you, and hopefully that's going to be resolved. It was meant to be this week, it's meant to be last several weeks, who knows, right? I'm not holding my breath, certainly, because if I do, I'll go blue in the face and I'll drop. So that's not going to happen. But I think that I'm still nervous about West Ham, because just away from home in general, we're not great. Like I think we'll have to be maybe not sort of similar-ish to how we played yesterday, even though it's West Ham. They beat Wolves 3-0 yesterday. They got really good attacking players. And then at home, Aston Villa, Boxing Day. I mean, that's, as Boxing Day games go, it's going to be really, really tough. Thankfully, we're at home. If it was a Villa Park, I'd almost write the game off, to be honest with you. But at home, I suppose you never know. You've always got that chance. So the pressure hasn't gone anywhere. You know, the pressure hasn't gone anywhere. But you've got to try and build upon it. Nobody thought we were going to get anything from yesterday, and we got a point. And people can mock us for it, celebrating it and all that kind of stuff, but it's one more point than anyone thought we were going to get. And you have to use it. You have to try and use it as a catalyst. And at the end of the day, you do have to remember that, you know, the club you're playing for, Manchester United, and remember, you know, who you are as well. So certainly big games coming up. I just want to get a final reaction from Hayley after the game. Here are her thoughts.
Of the week, I felt nothing.
I felt
Phrase
nothing.
Of the week. Phrase of the week. In the tunnel, what's his name? Van Dijk tried to tell him, what did he say? We didn't get to play. We only played half an hour or an hour because of you. Well, you complained before.
What? I don't know.
That makes no sense.
What do you mean?
I don't know. He wasn't. Onana wasn't holding on to the ball, wasting time.
Yeah.
He's just salty because you didn't get the win.
Let them know.
You never get the win.
You never what?
You never get the 7-0 that you wanted. You never even get one goal.
Sure, a Man United fan shameless to be in a position where we're like almost celebrating a draw at Anfield.
Listen, let me tell you something. When Fergie, great Sir Alex Ferguson, was in charge, he would have bit your hand off. He always respected going to Anfield. He would have bit your hand off to get a result at Anfield, yeah? So who are we to not celebrate that we got a result at Anfield? Be respectful. That's a great place to go. A tough place to go. And we got a result there.
Absolutely, man. And how did we get that result? Who was some of the standout guys?
Let me tell you how we got that result. We got the result because we was very compact. Last year, no, it was even this year, March the 5th, horrible day.
Damn.
I remember. This year when we went there, we was delusional. Ten Hag thought, I'm going to go toe for toe with Klopp and these man. And he got his ass spanked. He said, this year, I'm going to show everyone I've learnt my lesson. I'm not that same guy. He's been to therapy and he's realised, oh shit, when I play against these big teams, especially away from home, I need to buck up my ideas and understand I'm in the Premier League. And he understands he's in the Premier League, and guess what? You got to be compact. You got to work as a unit. If the ball's over there, guess what? Everyone's got to shuffle over together. If the ball's over there, we've got to shuffle over together. If it goes back over here, shuffle back over here.
Don't kill me. But then because the people were shuffling and there was one guy that was the major one that was important for the shuffling. What's his name?
Raphael Varane. Don't ask me to say that because my
Rolls Royce the Phantom.
Can't do it.
The Rolls Royce the Phantom. It's fine.
Don't embarrass me like
Just say the Phantom.
the Phantom.
Yeah.
He was great. He was amazing. If I pass the Phantom today, guess what I'm gonna do? Beep, beep, beep. Hail it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Varane.
But then we can't leave our
amazing.
Johnny Evans.
Johnny Evans.
We can't leave him out because
He was fantastic. He was. He was. No one would ever have thought Johnny Evans and Varane would have got us a clean sheet at Anfield.
But he did.
But they did. And I'm so happy for it. I mean, we had nervous moments. To be fair, did they have clear-cut opportunities, though?
I can't
Did
remember.
we nullify that?
I think we
Nullified that indeed, certainly. Big up Haley, as who said this in the chat? Ed says, "Hey G." What a combination after the game, certainly. But there you go, guys. A rapid hour, as always, here at Matchday Reloaded, live, Panenka Studios. We're still over 1,000 people watching, less than 500 likes. We've got about 250 likes to go, and I have seen that you're capable. I saw this yesterday on the Match View. I think we had like nearly 3,000 people watching at the time, whatever it was, and we had like 150 likes or something like that, and just boom, it just happened. It just happened. And like I said earlier on, we haven't had a lot to like this season, and even the performance yesterday wasn't a ton to like, but certainly I know what I like. And I like a lot of the Liverpool fans crying. I like a lot of the Liverpool fans with extra salt on whatever they're eating. Maybe a slice of humble pie. That the great almighty Liverpool that have won every single game at Anfield this season, couldn't do it against little old Manchester United, little old rubbish Manchester United. They couldn't do it. So if that's not worth a like, I don't know what is, certainly. So there you go. A reminder, plenty in store for the rest of today here at United View. We've got the Flex and KG show live 3 p.m. inside UVHQ, so be sure to join Flex and KG for that. There's just a couple of things. There's just a couple of things to get into. You know, this result and everything else that has happened in the world of the Premier League. So be sure to join them live once again 3 p.m. And then the full view today 7 p.m. What a day! What a day you've got here at United View. You've got Matchday Reloaded, you've got Flex and KG, and you've got the full view as well. So be sure to join us this evening, 7 p.m. Full panel, as always, gonna chew the fat and break things down and maybe talk about how they're feeling coming out of the game yesterday and heading into this busy festive period as well. So have a great Monday, guys. I'll speak for you again very soon. Join us later on and keep enjoying some of that Liverpool saltiness. I'm out of here. Peace.